Well, serve should always be an aggressive weapon. It starts every point, and I think many players don't practice the serve as much as they do the other strokes. Most players go out and just hit balls back and forth, forehands and backhands, and maybe come to the net and volley some. And then maybe hit 5 or 6 serves and start a practice set, or, of course, starting the match.
Oh, well, of course, this is the most important shot in tennis. You must develop a really good serve if you want to be a good player. That's as simple as that. If you haven't got a good serve, well, you won't get to the top.
A serve, for me, has always been easy. I think because at the beginning I was taught correctly. It's basically a throwing action. It's a continuous movement. Frankly, the service action, people never have actual problems with the service action. The only thing that ever seems to go amiss is the toss-up. So the most important thing, I think, to have a good serve is to have a consistent toss-up, and if you possibly can, to be able to serve a variety of serves with an identical toss-up, and therefore you don't give away, you don't telegraph what serve you're going to hit, and I think deception is very important in serving.
Well, the most important thing to think about is your opponent's strengths and weaknesses and where you want to serve the ball, first of all, rather than just going straight up and trying to put it into the court. What I try to do is, if I want to put it into the backhand, I'll make up my mind to do this. Then go up, and you usually take a stance that is quite comfortable to yourself. It can vary. A lot of people start on the front foot, some people start on the back foot, some just start with their weight evenly balanced. What you try to do is get a nice fluent motion going. One of the most important things also is to watch the ball until you hit it before looking down into the opponent's court.
Well, I think the root of most problems with the serve is the toss. And if you don't really know how to toss correctly, you may never develop a consistent toss. And a consistent toss is the key to a consistent serve.
I think you've got to do a little bit of gymnasium work, perhaps, so that you can get a bit of strength into your serve. The wrist plays a very important part in your service, too. The wrist snap at the top of the swing.
I think the more simple the action, with the arm bending in the joint at the back of the head, the better off your serve's going to be. To get a good serve, you need to practice thousands of balls, and I think that's the only way you're ever going to get any good at anything, is to practice really hard at it.
I try to hit the serve as sort of aggressive as I can to set up the point set up myself for the rest of the point in a winning position. I bounce the ball a couple of times to steady myself, and then I take the weight back on the back foot, get the ball up, throw it up, and get the ball out. I try to hit it just before it's coming down from the top of its rise, or right at the point that it just reaches there is the best time to hit it, because then it's just about, try it too high, just high enough for me, and I try to reach up to it. So therefore I get a bit more of a snap with my body and arm and the motion, try to get it out in front of me. I don't hit it very flat myself. I do always have a bit of spin on the ball, and then try to follow it in if it's a decent serve.
When I'm serving my best is my motion feels pretty free and natural, as if I was throwing a ball. The other things I would think about on my serve is I try and maybe keep my weight back on my right leg a little bit, so as not to lean out in the court too soon. I want to keep the ball toss in front of me, like maybe a couple of feet. And so with my weight back and the ball toss in front of me, at the last moment I shift my weight forward and go up and hit the ball, and you get a better explosion.
If you're playing on a fast court, it's very essential that you develop a very good flat first serve, so that you can win points with that first serve. If you haven't got that, it's history. You know, you're never going to be a good player.
サーブには3種類の打ち方があります。その中の2つはどちらもトスアップや腕の動き、動作がほとんど同じです。この位置の時、ラケットの面が完全にフラットになっている場合がフラットサーブで、多くの場合第一サーブに使います。フラットサーブとスライスサーブのただ一つの違いは手首です。この場合、この位置に来るまではどんなサーブをしようとしているのか、最後の瞬間まで相手にわからないようにすることです。フラットの場合、手首はこうなり、スライスの場合はこうなります。次にスピンサーブを見てください。3つ目のサーブがスピンサーブで、主に上級のプレーヤーのためのものです。これは第2サーブとして使われます。そしてこれは確実なサーブで素晴らしいものです。ボールに十分スピンをかけてやると、ボールはネットから 1、2 メートル高く飛んでコートに落ちると高く上がります。そのため相手は大変受けにくくなります。このサーブはトッププレーヤーのほとんどが使っているので、上達したらこのサーブを覚えるべきです。このサーブではボールの上げ方が少し違います。ここでやってみますが、大事な点は後ろに大きく反り返ることです。この時にボールを投げます。フラットやスライスの時は体の前の方に投げましたが、この場合はボールを頭のやや後ろに上げ、少し窮屈な状態から打ちます。この時ラケットのヘッドと手首を持ち上げ、ボールの上から手首を曲げて打ちます。ここでスピンサーブをやってみますから、どのようにやるかよく見てください。
Get out there and practice your serve, and don't practice your first serve all the time. Remember that your second serve is probably more important than your first serve. Develop a good second serve. Now, how many times have you gone out and practiced your second serve? None? Didn't think so.
The second serve is probably the most important serve. The top players in the world always seem to have a very good, safe, reliable second serve. They know that when they get in trouble and the pressure is on, they're always going to get it in deep wherever they may want to serve it.
The second serve is just as important as the first. The second serve, naturally, has got to have a little bit more spin so that it can go over the net a bit higher and go down into the court instead of carrying longer.
これらのサーブをいつ使うかが問題です。フラットサーブは第一サーブとして使います。たまにスピードがあり攻撃的なサーブとして有効ですが、思うように打ち込めない場合は変えるべきです。第一サーブで少なくとも 6、70% 確実に打ち込めない場合は、ミスを繰り返さないためにフラットをやめサーブを変えるべきです。スライスをやってみたり、リズムがつかめないような場合はスピンサーブを使ったりして第一サーブが確実に入るようにすることです。これは大切なことです。フラットサーブは主に中央に打ち込みます。私の場合、センターラインめがけて速い球を打ち込みます。スライスサーブは2通りの狙い方があります。一つは相手が体を伸ばしても届かないところを狙う場合、もう一つは相手の正面をついて体勢を崩させる場合です。ボールにスライスをかけるとフラットよりコントロールがつきます。そしてスピンサーブは主に第2サーブとして使い、上手になればダブルフォールトを防ぐことができます。皆さんのサーブには間違いが多くあると思います。すでにボールの上げ方の良し悪しについて説明しましたが、悪いやり方はラケットを早く振り下ろしたり、ボールを高く上げすぎたりすることです。その場合、ボールが落ちてくるのを待たなければならないので、タイミングが取れませんし、低すぎてもダメです。届く限り高く上げること。ボールを打つとき頭を下げてはいけません。 大事なことは頭を上げること。腕を上げてきてボールを離しますが、大切なことはこの腕をできるだけ伸ばして上げることです。ボールの上げ方が足りないとかがんで打たなければなりません。ボールは届くかどうかという高さに上げて伸び上がって打つくらいがちょうど良いのです。打つときは腕を曲げないこと。腕を曲げるとボールを打ち上げてしまいます。コートに打ち下ろすようにするためにはこの腕をまっすぐにすること。そしてフォロースルーは体の反対側にします。こっちへは振らないこと。ラケットは体重の移動と一緒に振ります。よく腕だけで振っている人がいますが、よくありません。腕が疲れるだけです。必ず体重の移動と一緒にラケットを振ってコートに踏み込みます。ではサーブの要点をもう一度繰り返します。まず第一に、正しいボールの投げ方を家でも練習できるのでしっかり身につけてください。自分に合ったスタンスを取ること。スイングはゆっくり。ボールを上に上げると同時にラケットを背中で背負うように下ろし、体重を移動しながらラケットをできるだけ高く持ってきます。ボールを捉えるときは腕をまっすぐに、ボールを打ち抜くように振り、踏み込みながら体の反対側へフォロースルーします。これがサーブで最も重要なことです。
Give it a go. Give it a go. Give it a go. Give it a go.
ナイスサーブ。サーブについてお分かりいただけましたか？